The information discussed in this video is for personal reference only. I am not a doctor, medical professional, or an herbologist, nor make any claims to be. This is what I do for myself, and it is not to be taken as instruction to treat yourself in any means. Please consult a medical professional before attempting any type of herbal medications or treatments. Hey everyone, Mr. Overon here with Mr. Overon's Tarot Reading Services. And, if you see a lot of smoke in the air right now, that's because I have a sage wand going, and I just wanted to talk to you about like some of the things that I do when I'm not feeling well, or like I have congestion or sinus issues or what have you. One of the things that I always turn to is I always burn some sage, and I make sure that I inhale the smoke. And as you can see right here, this is a nice bundle of sage, and I have a little desk fan right here that I just continuously stoke the flames with, and I let it just envelop me. And I like to take some time to actually think the sage itself and meditate with it while I allow it to burn. And I've already done this off camera, but I thought while I had this going that I would actually talk to you about what it is that I do when I'm not feeling well, and how I turn to my herbal remedies and things of that nature. So, like I said, the very first thing that I do whenever I'm starting to feel like congestion or tightening in the chest or whatever is first of all, I always go for my inhaler, just to make sure that it's not asthma related. The next thing I do is I light up some sage, especially if things are starting to feel a little bit spicy and I'm coughing a little bit and I'm from like congestion in my chest. So I'll light up some sage and I'll like sit in the smoke for just a little while, and I'll inhale it and I'll breathe it. The other thing that I do to it is I smoke the sage. I'll actually take little bits and pieces of this off and put it into like a pipe, and I'll smoke it. Now, there's going to be 100 people saying, oh, that's the worst thing for you. There's going to be other people who say, oh yeah, that's the best thing for you. But again, I'm not a medical professional. I have no license as an herbologist or anything like that. This is something I do for myself, and it's like 100% just me passing along information that I give. That being said, though, when I like put it into a tobacco pipe or something like that and I actually smoke it, I hold it in my lungs for a little while, and then I blow it out through my nose. And if my nose is stuffed up, I will like hold either side of my nostrils until I can get it to come out. If I don't have a pipe available to me, then I just inhale it just like that. And it has like this really kind of minty menthol taste to it. Again, I'm not a medical practitioner and I am not an herbologist. This is 100% just me telling you guys this is what I do, and I typically feel much better afterwards. So I will just do that, and I will sit here with this sage and I will pray, and I will say something like, with sage with powers both far and wide, clear sickness and ailments from my side. Enter my body willingly. You can enter my body willingly and take with you any negative energy or things that are not supposed to be therein. And as I'm talking about that and I'm breathing this in, I'm breathing in that smoke, seeing it go all the way down into my toes, and just pull up all the negativity and all the things that aren't supposed to be in my body and exhaling them out. This is is a lot of visual work, and like I said, a lot of times this helps, especially if I have any kind of like bronchitis kind of situation happening. Again, there's going to be a lot of people that say you really don't want to smoke if you're having any kind of bronchial issues or whatever. And I'm reiterating again, not a medical professional or have no medical licensing or make any claims to do so. But just sitting here with the sage, and I don't know if you can see it in the background or not, but it is really, really smoky in here. I've closed up all the windows. And what I'll do in a little bit is I'll open the windows and let the cross breeze take all of that crap out of the house. And I will even go as far as to smudge my house while I'm doing this as well, so that I'm making sure to get my bed and like get in the living room and get in the kitchen and in the bathroom, and also like as you are smudging, making sure that your home is rid of any negative energy, any negative entities or spirits or low-level beings that may or may not be in your home. But it's not a bad thing to just kind of like do a cleansing all at once. Now, there is a school of thought that says that you should not perform any magics when you are sick or under the weather, because you cannot properly focus, and this is 100% true. However, I don't feel like I'm far enough under the weather, as it were, that I don't have my mental capacities about me to properly cast and properly channel. So if I was really, really sick and laying on my deathbed, of course, I'm not going to have the right capacity to be able to do any kind of magics for myself outside of praying to my patron god and goddess and asking for divine intervention. But in something like this is simple, low-level magic, and is a visualization technique as well as a meditative technique and just good spiritual practice. So, a lot of people, especially a bunch of millennial new age witches, don't like the idea of utilizing sage in their practices and think that it's cultural appropriation or whatever else. If that is the case for you, be blessed and move on. But for me personally, sage is a huge part of my practices. Even when I used to use black magic, I would use sage in those black magic ceremonies. And you're probably thinking, well, how would you do that if you are conjuring black magic and it's supposed to repel negative energies? I would use it to cleanse whatever circle or altar that I was working in and use it for my sacred space. But that being said, that's a whole different video on how you can kind of pervert what you are using it for. And yeah, like I said, I'm not going to get into that. That's a whole other video. But the other thing that I do, this is an old family recipe. I don't know where we got it from, but I remember my grandmother doing this for us whenever she was watching us and my mom wasn't around. Well, not my mom, technically my mom, anyways. It was passed down to us is what I'm saying. So our recipe is you get a lemon and you cut it into wedges or into the circles, and you add it to Dr. Pepper, and it has to be the real Dr. Pepper with the purple maroon colored label on it. Cannot be diet, cannot be caffeine, cannot be like Mountain Holler or any of those offshoots. It has to be the real Dr. Pepper. And you bring the Dr. Pepper to a boil, a soft boil. with lemon inside of it. And you can even go as far as to add a little bit of honey, but that is a like family cure-all for us if we're ever feeling sick or under the weather or just need something to like stop coughing or what have you. We use Dr. Pepper, lemon, and sometimes honey. My sister always goes with honey, and she'll even go a step further and put ginger into it. Me, I just do Dr. Pepper and lemon. And it is one of the best throat-soothing, like just, you know, when you're coughing and your lungs and your chest and your throat hurt and are just raw, it's the best. You only leave it on a soft rolling boil for just a moment, just enough to kind of like not make it syrupy, but not like super liquidy either. You want it just about like maybe soup consistency, like a good thick soup. And we'll drink that down, and that's a cure-all in my opinion. Like, I remember having that administered to me as young as 3 and 4 years old. I remember my mom going down and getting Dr. Pepper and a lemon and boiling it up and drink it. Kind of like a hot toddy, except for you don't have the alcohol. So, that's just a couple of things that I wanted to share with you all and give you a little bit of folk knowledge and like things that I've used that seems to work. The other thing that I do, and this is a little bit more extreme, but I will take a hot shower, like as hot as I could possibly stand it, to the point where my skin's turning red, and I will stand there and I will count to 20 to 40, usually 40, with it burning on me like that. And I let it hit the area that I'm most concerned with. So if it's a sore throat, I'll let it just hit right here on my throat. If it's my chest, I will let it just hit right here on my chest. But I will count to 20, between 20 and 40, and then I will shut off the hot water and turn on the super ice cold water. And it is a shock. And it will literally jack your life up if you're not careful. Again, not a medical professional. This is just something that I do for myself. But I alternate between the hot and cold like that. And I get to the point where I'm shivering to my core. And then I will, like I said, count to 20 to 40. And not like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and so on and so forth. And then I'll switch it back to hot and like get my skin burning red, and then I'll switch back to cold, and I'll do that back and forth like that 5 or 6 times, and then I usually finish it on hot. And I get myself where I'm just like beet red looking like a lobster, and I'll even open my mouth and let it like circulate inside my mouth as and drink down some of that really hot water. And you know, most people's hot water isn't much above like a cup of coffee or like whatever, like a cup of coffee or a hot glass of tea. But you know, do take some precaution in doing so, because you could seriously burn yourself. And make sure that if you do the alternating, that you let somebody in the household know that you're going to be doing it before doing so that they can kind of keep an ear out for you if you should happen to pass out in the bathtub. But yeah, so those are just some of the things I try to do when I come under the weather or having any kind of like allergy attacks or anything like that. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, put them in the comment section down below. And if you would like to get a hold of me directly, you can shoot me an email, mroveron@gmail.com, or head on over to the website if you would like a tarot reading or any kind of you that direction, and that's mroveron.com again. And yeah, until next time, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye, witches.